Welcome back, everybody. Today we have a 2016 Freightliner Cascadia. It's got a DD13 motor in it. What the problem is intermittent problem. It can run down the road and shut down after just a couple hours, or it might be running all day and shut down. What we're going to do today, we already checked it out. There's wires that does not have continuity. In other words, a wire more than likely had broken the engine wiring harness. We went to Freightliner. We got brand new wiring harness, over $600. So it's going to get installed today by Kaylee, and hopefully it solves a lot of the problems. The truck does have other issues. As you can see, there's oil right there on the wheel. It's more than likely a axle seal. Today we want to try and get the check engine light to go out. Hopefully all the codes in the computer will disappear. So what Kaylee's going to do, seeing how she's our resident electrical expert, is she's going to change this wiring harness on this motor. As you can see, she's already disconnecting some of the plugs. Did you already disconnect the computer?
Yeah.
Okay, and there's some plugs here that she's using a body tool. That's for doing interior trim, correct?
Yeah, for pulling clips up, but I'm just using it to release this locking clip on this one because they got this thing in such position.
And I apologize, you probably hearing the air leak right now on the pass-through.
I'm not worried about that anyway. I have an extra.
You got new clips on the new wiring harness.
Yeah. I'm on release already.
All this work we're doing to this truck is not for the customer, because we're trying to work out a deal with the customer to get the truck, seeing how the motor went on the Kenworth.
And this is why I have the panel tools.
And I'm also glad that Kaylee suggested to bring the whole kit for the GoPro, because I was only going to bring a couple pieces. And right now we're using the selfie stick. That way I stay out of her way, and she's got plenty of room to work. All you watching the video can actually see what she's doing. And on a side note, Kaylee's usually smarter than I am.
God, everything's brittle.
Probably from the heat.
It's no wonder we got an open circuit in this harness. Yeah, see, zip tie that was zip tied around this.
Just broke without cutting it?
Yeah. Now getting that one thing uncoupled. There we go. Yeah, see, it's gonna replace broken pieces like that. Great, that clip broke off. Oh, I feel rain. This is definitely the original harness. Look how brittle everything is.
If you didn't hear her, she said everything's brittle. That's why it's the original. That's why she can tell that it's the original harness.
I need this hole cleared because that's where the next clip's gonna go. Ow! That's my finger. There we go. Zip tie. Lock heater. So, what I've got loose so far is this section right here. So now I got this section defined. Right down in there. It's that harness back there. That's the leg now, right there. That's the leg we're removing now. All these sensors. These look like fun. Come on off of there. There we go. Gotcha. Alright, that one is in a precarious position. That'll be more. There we go. There we go. It should be helped with some clips. I think all the clips are broken. Yeah. Can I get to that from here? You know, plastic clips are great and all, but I wish they would use materials that didn't get brittle like this. They make it hard to get anything out. Oh, come on. There we go. Come on. Push a little more. Come on, push a little more. Yes! Oh! That was the clip that holds that section of the harness up. Alright, so now I gotta figure out which is the next leg. This disconnected, this disconnected. Here's this leg and this leg that goes underneath. Let's see, I think that one's gonna be a little bit more difficult. Ooh, look at all that oil. Here. Can you hand me a rag? Alright, so there. That is. Hand me the blue handled panel tool. Blue and black. Yeah. Come on, blow by tube, get out of my way. Okay, Do hand me the blue handled one now. Thank you. Did it break or did it come out? That is the question. Of course, it broke. God, am I gonna have to crawl all the way over there? Ah, fudge me. Alright. Just finished with this leg right here. Right here. Disconnecting all those plugs, and if you think you can't get to them, they're all right back here at the very back in a cluster. Now, easiest way to remove them is to use a pick tool on the gray lock release. Here it's white, but in there, and just pull on it until it pulls the plug out. Because pulling on it will actually pull up and release that. So a pick tool is very helpful. Now if they're broken, an angle pick tool is also helpful, because right here you can get right up underneath it from the front on the sensor. So if it's plugged in, you can go right up under here and you can lift up on the release and then push forward and remove it off the sensor. So a 90-degree pick tool, very handy. Now we're working on the last leg, which is this leg, which goes underneath the oil pan or front of the motor and up to our EGR where our fault was. So
you're going to unplug the plugs on the EGR and that before going underneath the truck? So you're going to take off the hard plastic piece?
I'm going to go under, I'm going to release all the clips, take the hard thing, and then I'm going to come over here and unplug. Working my way around.
Just following the wire. And we're in a dirt gravel, so there's a tarp down to protect from the water, and then a moving blanket in that trailer that is shown in one of my other videos. Bunch of brand new moving blankets. We brought one of them to pad so the rocks don't hurt as much.
One of the pitfalls of working in a gravel lot. Okay, fun times, here we go. Oh my god, all this oil. Blech.
Some of these are about impossible to see, let alone get to.
Yeah. Alright, that's those two. One of those was the EGR, the other one was the other thing.
Right now we're working by the turbo. I'd say that was the hot wire to the alternator. Even though I shut the switch off, it still got power to the alternator.
I just barely touched it. Just kind of brushed up against it.
Yeah, there's a wire going to the alternator that's always hot. So if you want to avoid what she just did, disconnect the batteries.
Don't do like me.
But like I told everybody early on in the very first couple videos, if we make a mistake, it's on camera. We're not perfect.
That one's not wanting to release. So, dropping it out.
Alright, she's got the wiring harness, the old wiring harness totally disconnected, and she's going to start pulling it off the motor now. Now you have a pretty good idea where all the plugs are. The GoPro is going to be dead pretty soon, so I'm not going to end the video here, but once we get the new harness on, then I'll show you the results after the new harness is on. Hopefully it solves a lot of the problems. There's the old wiring harness. And you can see some of the damage on it. Oil's been getting down inside there, which that is the plug for the computer. And it took a little bit of getting that out, and she's routing the new one in there right now. But like I said, you can see the damage. Now, one thing had to happen to get it out is the dipstick tube for the oil had to get pulled off, and then this intake for the air charge cooler had to get unbolted and moved to allow for the wires to come out from behind it and the new wires that'll be fed in behind it. Okay, well, good news. Wiring harness is totally replaced. Kaylee did a great job on that. Truck is up and running, and no check engine light. We got an ABS light and a brake light. The brake light's on because the brakes are set. ABS, that's something totally different. That's not going to shut the truck down. But no check engine light. So now Kaylee's going to give Mike a call and discuss the deal and see if we drive the truck home today. What do you got to say, Kaylee?
Where's my lighter?
What do you want to say about the truck?
I gotta say, where's my lighter? Okay, well, replacing the harness, and most of the time these DD13s, DD15s, right where the main harness runs forward and then goes under the front of the engine, right there at that plug, it's usually always a bunch of faults, and that cleared our EGR faults.
And she's talking about where I showed you that all the wire loom was gone from the old harness. Well, that's going to end this video, and I appreciate you coming back. Stay tuned for our next video. Thank you, and have a great day.